Truth be told, I don't like being right about everything. And honestly, I actually kind of love being wrong. I don't know if there's a lot of people out there that are like this, and it probably sounds like I have a huge ego, but for months, I discussed on my channel that I think there's someone leaking at Activision. In fact, there's more than enough proof of people leaking at Activision, and it's probably just one person with the ability to do so. But today we have already learned that the anti-cheat kernel driver for Ricochet has been leaked already. Like we're in a position where things are just getting outrageous. Like I discussed this months ago in multiple videos, and I had people that would unsubscribe. I had people that would, you know, talk down to me and say that I'm crazy. But one of my friends was in contact with a leaker who was like, okay, who's actually leaking all this, basically? And come to find out, it's someone who just is giving all this stuff out to cheat developers and stuff like that. I'm assuming to make a quick buck. That is probably the only reason that they would do that. Otherwise, they just hate Activision. That's what it is. It is more than likely one person that is doing all the leaking, and the reason that all the code for all the games have been leaked and the cheats have been so easily developed, especially even on day one of Black Ops Cold War, cheaters being there in the beta. So we are now at a situation where the kernel's been leaked. The kernel driver, not the kernel. The kernel driver has been leaked, and people are already working on a way to get past it. So will this work whenever it gets here? That's my question. I feel like yesterday when we dropped the video talking about, you know, this new anti-cheat, I was excited. I was pumped. A lot of people had a lot of questions. We're going to cover that in today's video so that you guys have a little bit more than me just saying, wow, look at that. It's officially here. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think, and this is kind of the idea that is kind of floating around here and there, that Activision may have leaked this on purpose, and it's not the real driver, and it's to make sure that these companies are working on something that's not going to work? Because I don't know. I hope in this case that I'm so wrong, that I'm completely incorrect. They got rid of the person that was doing the leaks in the past, and that we're in a better situation than we were before. But listen, I recently have been able to, you know, have a conversation and be a part of some of the things with Raven and some of the exciting things they have going on. So I really want to see a page turned here. I really do, and I'm hopeful for that, because it means good things for my career as well. But what do you guys genuinely think? In a comment down below. And listen, I would love to have you guys just be super nice and not awful and hateful like some of the comments that I got on the video talking about the anti-cheat to begin with. So please don't take it out on me, your first frustrations. I'm begging you. It's not a me thing. I didn't leak the kernel driver. I didn't. Okay, take it easy. Breathe a second. Okay, but let's go ahead and hop into some of the comments, and I'm going to give you guys my thoughts and respond to some of these, and hopefully give you guys a little bit of understanding more than what you have now. So the biggest question that was asked is, what about all these Cronus Zen users? What about the people that are using strike packs and things like that? And yesterday in the video, I tried to address that and say, hey, I'm not 100% sure what's going to happen, but with a little bit further conversation from some of the people that are in the scene, I have come to understand that this should 100% also work for these people. If they're using a Cronus or a strike pack, it should combat against those people, and they should get banned as well. That is like the biggest question that was asked is, hey, Expel, what about Cronus? Hopefully it's fixed. Hopefully it's fixed. Again, we don't have a 100% answer, but from what some of the devs have been speaking to all the people talking about, you know, the game and like the anti-cheat and stuff like that, they have said it should work just fine for the Cronus users and the strike pack users, and it should combat against that as well. The next thing is going to be VPNs, Expel. You know, VPNs are cheating and stuff like that. And listen, I feel like a lot of people skipped over this part in yesterday's video. Listen closely before you give some sort of opinion and you start fussing and stuff like that in the comments. I am not in any way defending anyone for doing anything unethical. I want to be very clear about that. For some reason, people think that there's this big like cult of creators that come together and they're like, this is what we need to make sure that we talk about and everyone has everyone's back. That's not a thing. is we're not the Illuminati, okay? It's not a thing. We don't do that. In fact, I barely talk to anyone else. I am creating 80 videos a month. Do you think that I have time to jump into these calls and be like, all right, Illuminati brothers, what are we doing this month? No, it's not a thing. Stop. I'm not defending anyone. I don't have anyone to defend. I don't care about anyone else's like stuff. If they are doing well, good for them. That's how I feel. That's it. That's all I got. That's all I got. So please stop assuming that other creators are trying to defend other creators. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Okay, please just listen for 2 seconds on this. VPNs, in a way that you are trying to get easier lobbies in general, are unethical. They are not against TOS. Now, the thing that would be against TOS is if you're using a VPN to give yourself an advantage. Now, a lot of you guys may be thinking, Expel, isn't playing against people that are worse than you an advantage? No, it's not an advantage at all. It's not even like in any way an advantage. Think about this. Every single person that's playing has the same opportunity to play at a high level. Now, whether or not that person is good is completely different, but there's no way to gauge someone's skill other than like, you know, skill-based matchmaking, which is because skill-based matchmaking works not the way that you think it does. It's retention-based matchmaking. So whenever you're playing the game, if you are playing well, you will get better lobbies. But if you have some games where you're just not doing that well, what ends up happening is you'll get a lobby that's bad anyway. Now, everybody's going to be like, well, that sounds good. Okay. Well, at the end of the day, even if you're using a VPN and you get bad lobbies more often, it's not against the TOS. It's literally the same thing that retention-based matchmaking will do. Now, I'm not saying it is ethical to use your VPN that way. However, the way that I've used a VPN in the past is if I'm lagging, I will use something called no lag VPN. This will basically say that I'm in whatever country. Let's say we're in South Africa, right? I will use a South African server and it won't put me in South Africa. If at any point it does, I will immediately back out of that game because usually you'll see it. I'll pull up the ping or something like that because it'll feel like I'm lagging and I'll back out. It can happen every once in a while, and those lobbies are super body, 100% super body. I want to be very clear with you. I always back out of those. I use it for ping. Yes, it has the chance to give you super body lobbies, but it's like not something that I personally do. It is unethical to use it in a way where you are playing on that higher ping in a country that does not understand the game as well as America does. So I use it for what it is meant to be used for, the no lag part of it. I use it to get low ping lobbies. That way I'm playing in the demon lobbies that are Austin, Texas and Dallas, Texas. If you're using it in that way, it is fine. It is not even unethical in any way whatsoever. But if you're using it to get these bot lobbies and you're using a VPN to go to another country, then yeah, it's kind of messed up. But what I was saying was, it'll start me in South Africa. It'll say that I'm in South Africa, but it actually forces me to the closest servers to where I actually am via my real IP address. So it'll say whenever you look at my COD tracker, oh, he was in, you know, he's originating in South Africa, but in reality, I'm pinging to Austin, Texas. So it's a little weird to understand and hard to understand if you don't understand how VPNs normally work. But if you can like understand a VPN, but reverse it, you know what I'm saying? So that's basically how the no lag VPN works. It's all about whether or not you feel it's ethical or not ethical or whatever. It's completely up to you. But at the end of the day, it's technically not cheating. It may be like breaking the system, but it's all about whether you're breaking the system for different reasons. And that sounds really bad, but like just think further past like what's right in front of your face and think about the whole picture. That's all I'm saying. Someone said, so I can't use a VPN to make friends in the UK. Again, it does come down to whether or not things are ethical. Hopefully Matt is putting this in the right place. But it does come down to whether or not it's ethical. If you are trying to find friends in the UK, you just like someone's accent, whatever it may be. First of all, UK lobbies, from what I've been told, a little bit ridiculous. So it's not like you're putting yourself in a situation where these lobbies are going to be like, you know, super easy or something like that because you're trying to get easy lobbies. If you're just trying to make friends, I don't think there's anything wrong with using a VPN to be in the UK. But again, like people are just going to come to your throat for anything these days. So you can't let anything like that affect you. It's really all about how you feel about it. If you know in your heart that you are not doing something wrong, I think you're okay. Cheating is wrong. trying to find friends in the UK, especially if you found that that's some of the most fun people that you can find, I think you're good with that. Another big thing that kept getting asked was anti-cheat question mark. That's not real. What? This one just kind of threw me off quite a bit. I think it really just cracked me up. They were like, no, there's no way an anti-cheat's coming out. First of all, listen, this is directly from Activision. It is named, it is titled, and it is being used whenever the game comes out. On the 5th of November, it will have a server-side update and be implemented into Vanguard. And then as soon as the Warzone Pacific map comes out, it'll be implemented into Warzone. So it is real. Please stop thinking that it's not real. I don't know how conspiracy theories start that I'm just making this video up, but work with me a little bit. Man, one that got me was people talking about console hacks and literally just not thinking that they're real. I don't know if you guys heard about this or if you missed it entirely, but people in my video yesterday were going at my throat saying console hacks, this is how you know that all YouTubers lie and they just do everything for clickbait. Man, I'm out here bringing you a video like with as much value as I can. I'm not trying to lie to you. Why would I? What do I have to gain from me bringing up console hacks? Genuinely, think it through. Nothing. There's nothing there for me to gain. So when it comes to console hacks, this was a thing. It was a thing a while back. And because about, I don't know, 90% of players are on console, Activision immediately jumped on that. Basically what happened is a company made console hacks. They advertised the console hacks. A bunch of people downloaded the console hacks. It was still pretty difficult to download console hacks. You had to have some sort of computer to where you could put it on a USB and then put it on your PlayStation or Xbox, whatever it was. But they exist. And if people had it on their system, it still exists. It's still there. But it did get a cease and desist letter and a threatened to sue from Activision pretty much immediately. It was big news. It was like this huge thing. And if you missed it, it is what it is. But just because you live under a rock doesn't mean everyone else does. Don't be in denial or anything like that. Just recognize that this is something that happened. Console cheats are a thing. It happened, but it's no longer really happening other than the people that already had it. So yes, console cheats are a thing. So if you feel like you could be getting cheated on by someone on console, you could be getting cheated on by someone on console. I'm not saying they are cheating, so don't, put your tinfoil hat on just yet, but it is a real thing. The next thing is I want to apologize because this seems to be a conversation that I get a lot in the comments of my videos. I use India as an example for bad lobbies, and I am sorry for that. It is nothing against India or anything like that. It is completely statistical. It's like saying that people as they get older are naturally going to get worse at video games. Naturally, as you get older, your hands and motor functions will get worse. It is not me going at anyone's throat or being ageist or saying that anyone's country is worse or anything like that. It's just me speaking statistically. So people tend to VPN to India because the skill-based matchmaking is a little bit easier over there. Now, this is the unethical part of it is, VPNing to India or a country that has, lower, I think Bangladesh, from what I was being told, is like the worst country, but you get like a 400 ping if you're in the US, so it's just not worth it. So like countries like that are technically the ones that people are going to call out for being bad. And it's nothing against the people that are over there because naturally there are going to be people that are better. There are going to be people that are worse. I just want people to know that it is nothing against you personally. If I use your country as an example, it is just an example based on statistics. And if you want to look it up, you're more than welcome to do so. But just know that it's nothing against you personally or anything like that. Another thing I get is that people are saying that a bunch of streamers need to prove that they're not cheating and stuff like that. I understand where you're coming from, but I think as someone who lives in America, what I've learned and what I feel like is the correct thing to do is treat people innocent until proven guilty. You are more than welcome to try and prove that someone is guilty. However, do not come at their throats saying that they are cheating and being very rude to them. I'm not saying that you can't assume that people are cheating. I don't think it's really the right thing to do, but you're more than welcome to do that. But if you think that someone is cheating, do your best to find a way to prove it. And little bitty things here and there aren't going to prove it. You need to find definitive proof, not just circumstantial evidence. Think about the way that the court systems work. If you could not prove it in a court system, I don't think it's fair to try and prove it that way online. Do your best to try and find correct proof and show that they are cheating. Innocent until proven guilty is always going to be the best way to go with this, guys. So make sure that you're treating people correctly. Again, I am not a part of some crazy, cult of streamers or content creators or anything like that. So just know that I'm not trying to have anyone's back. I don't even talk to a lot of the guys that I say are really not cheating. Most of the time I can just tell by gameplay. So make sure you're doing your best to learn the most that you can about all of these things, like that, you know, streamers proved it on stream by showing their task manager. Yeah, that doesn't really, it doesn't prove anything by showing your task manager or anything like that. But also, why do they have to prove it to you? What is the point in proving it to you? Like, we live in a day and age where it's just completely pointless. And I understand that people want to know the truth, but until you have definitive proof, or at least something you think is definitive proof, don't go at someone's throat. Just be kind of nice to people, and I think it'll come back around to you later in the future. A huge thing that people mentioned was easy anti-cheat and the way that people found workarounds for that relatively easily. One thing that I would like to say about the anti-cheat that's coming out is that it is made for Call of Duty. This was made from the ground up for Call of Duty. What that means is that there aren't going to be those old workarounds that are already like made and stuff like that so that they can jump in and go around it like they could with easy anti-cheat. Yes, people do get around easy anti-cheat, but it's obviously not that easy. It's easy to install for the game, basically, is, and I'm not saying it actually is, but you know, that's the way that you should understand it, is it's easy to implement into any game. I think the reason we haven't had an anti-cheat so far is because they are working on something for Call of Duty, because they found that they have the worst cheater situation of all. And the reason why is the COD community is toxic. Okay, I'm just gonna give it to you straight. If you have ever read through a comment section on a YouTube video from a Call of Duty creator, you'd understand that the Call of Duty community is toxic. It's a lot of the reason that I tend to not respond to comments a lot, because at some point, when like it's like a 40-60, like 60% of comments are, you know, people being nice, or people trying to, you know, make my content better, or people saying, hey, maybe you could do this, whatever it is. 60% is that, but 40% is people being just absolutely awful and like hugely rude to other people. And the reason why is because a lot of people do, you know, well, you know what, just not gonna say it. But the point is this anti-cheat is made for Call of Duty from the ground up. So it's going to be hard to get around it. Obviously, it has been, you know, already leaked and stuff like that, and that is a problem. But I don't think it's the worst thing. I think, obviously, it is something that learns as it goes. So even people finding a workaround, it will also learn from that and defend against it. I think we'll be okay in the future. A quick mention, again, yesterday's video, I discussed something that was the whitelist. And a big thing that was mentioned from JGod, I'll have Matt roll it on screen right now.
What they did say on top of this is that there is no system in place that would make somebody untouchable if they were whitelisted. Specifically, that is the word. He said nothing in the system would make someone untouchable, meaning that regardless if you were whitelisted, if you threw on cheats, you would be banned. There was nothing stopping a player from being banned if the anti-cheat wants to detect their account. They are not untouchable. So if they have not been banned after this, they're likely not cheating.
Obviously, JGod said that there is no whitelist or anything like that that can keep people from getting caught. It is not implemented into the anti-cheat at all, which means if there's a streamer or someone that has all this money or anything like that to try and not get caught, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They're still going to get caught by the anti-cheat, and that's going to be it. Once they cheat, they're done. So even if there's a whitelist, even if there's this crazy whitelist that is catching all these cheaters, it doesn't matter. It's not implemented into Ricochet, so it's over. It's over for anybody that cheats. No one is getting around this. That's the beauty of it. I realize that I've been hopefully a little bit more hopeful about the anti-cheat, but the reason why is because I want to see a page turn for Activision. I want to see a page turn for Raven Software and everyone involved at that company, because I think it's been really hard working with Warzone and all of the downfalls that it's had in the past. So hopefully we do see a page turn here. If you enjoyed this video, if you want to see me respond to more comments or your questions, make sure to drop a question down below and maybe I'll catch you then, or follow over on twitch.tv/expel. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next.